What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Real Housewives of Potomac. Yes, the ladies are back. This is season 8, episode 1, and the episode is titled Projections and Deflections. Let's get right into the review. So, we are coming in hot, okay? Talking about who else, nobody other than Juan. Giselle is starting everything off, and she's like, it's eating Robin up, that everyone has been talking about her man. And listen, we got to go over the lies of Mr. Juan Dixon, because we actually see the footage of Robin on Watch What Happens Live, when she was over there repeating whatever Juan told her about how he just happened to pay for that woman's hotel stay. And he didn't touch her, he didn't do anything with her, but he ended up paying for her hotel stay. Yeah, okay. Next rumor that we have going on is the fact that Juan is supposedly messing around with somebody that used to work with him. He out here getting manis and petties with this lady. I was so confused because I was like, whoa, I haven't even heard of that rumor. I thought we were going to talk about how he got fired from his job first, and that whole fiasco. But no, it's a whole nother woman. Now, my question is this the woman that Karen was talking about? That's what I need to know. Let me go look up Coach Bree. But nonetheless, let's jump right in. So we actually start off with Robin, as far as like the current time, what's happening. Robin is at her house. She's putting pictures from the wedding in some frames, and Juan comes home. So they talk about their relationship, and he says that, what he did was foolish, as far as the whole Canadian girl who was supposedly messing around with another player from some football team, and Juan paid for her hotel stay. So, according to him, it was foolish or whatever, and he goes on to say that he actually told Robin that she shouldn't have talked about it on her podcast, because as we all know, once she opened up that can of worms, everybody went in on Robin. Not only the fans of the show, but also the girls, the cast members. And I don't understand why she felt like they weren't going to do that. You have been sitting on this show for 8 seasons now, okay? Everybody has told you that Juan don't really want you like that, and he be playing with you. You keep letting him play. I don't know what to do with you. Here's the thing, what I've also realized when it comes to Robin, you guys, watching this entire episode. My question to Robin is, has she been with anybody besides Juan? And the reason why I'm saying that is because we know that they got together when they were in high school, okay? They were in high school, and they have been together since. Now, of course, when they went through their divorce or whatever, they were still staying with each other, because financially, they had to. When we got on the show, when these two got on the show, I believe Juan was still dating other people. However, Robin was not. Like, we've never seen Robin go out with anybody besides Juan, even when they were not together. So I'm just wondering if she's like attached to him because he's the only guy that she knows. Because the way he out here just spewing these lies, and the way he handles her, I can't do it. But nonetheless, what threw me off also was the fact that Robin, she kind of questioned, like, why didn't you mess around with this lady? Because at the end of the day, you were already at the hotel room. And Juan is like, no, that's not what I was trying to do. And of course, he admits that he messed up. So these two, they feel like they have worked everything out. However, we have a whole other situation that has come up. And people have seen photos, supposedly, of Juan getting his nails done with this woman by the name of Coach Bree, okay? So, here's my thing. Juan is over here making excuses, in my eyes. He's making excuses left and right. Because the way he was talking about how, when people see two attractive people, they automatically think that they go together or there's something going on. And Robin, her only response to that was the fact that this girl supposedly looks like a younger version of her. Now, again, I'm wondering when we gonna talk about how this man lost his job. Oh, they brought that up, but they brought it up in such a nonchalant way. It was like, oh yeah, Juan, you lost your job because y'all didn't win enough games. Sir, that is not why you got fired. Stop playing. It's because your name was named in that case. Okay? And that's called what? Liability. I'm sorry, but I can't do Robin and Juan. I feel like they are already starting on the shenanigans. But we shall see where this leads us this season. Moving on, we see Karen, Candace, and Wendy. They are meeting up. So Wendy's talking about she carrying her rosary because she is out here protected in these streets. And I'm like, okay, shout out to you. You got G-O-D on your side. But here's my thing. It's interesting that we see a scene of her carrying a rosary this season. And later on, there's going to be someone questioning her own mother's faith. That's interesting to me. But nonetheless, like I said, baby girl says she protected out here in these streets. So the ladies briefly talk about the reunion and how things went there. Wendy ends up asking Karen, where does she stand with all the other ladies? And she says that she's cool with everybody. However, Robin has some things going on over there. So Karen feels like Robin was the one who came after all three of these ladies who are sitting together right now, but she was also in the midst of hiding her own truth. She had a lot of stuff going on in her personal life with Juan, but she was throwing digs at everybody else. And Candace is like, listen, the crazy thing that stood out to me was the fact that Robin said that she was waiting on Karen to be the one to bring it up. And I will say, Robin, you did sound crazy. That you were waiting for another housewife to throw your own drama in your face. That sounds crazy. Because if anything, it would do you justice to try to get ahead of the story and not wait on somebody else to put you on blast. So it is very clear that these three ladies, they are not really feeling Robin so far. But let's go ahead and move on because now we got to slide on over to Ashley. She is with her two boys. She is a single mom now, for sure, because now she has her own house. And I must say, the house, it definitely looks like a home. That's what I'll say. It's not my design choice. However, her house absolutely looks better than Giselle's. Okay, because Giselle's house is still the worst out of the Potomac franchise. Now, one thing that stood out to me, y'all, when it came to her kids, is when that oldest child, I think his name is Dean, was pulling that other little boy up to get on top of the counter or whatever. And I'm just like, Ashley, if you don't go get your child, for one thing, I just want to point out, your child could have pulled his brother's arm out of socket. Yes, that is a thing. So you might want to watch it, okay? Might want to make sure that your kids are actually being careful. Now, of course, you have Ashley talking about how, everything is on her, blah, 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 blah. But girl, you got a whole nanny out here. Like, be for real. And if we want to be honest, your nanny probably puts in more time and effort than you do, or your ex-husband, or whatever he is, Michael, how much ever he put in. I'm pretty sure that the nanny is doing all the work. Now, of course, Ashley tells us that Michael's name is still on the mortgage. Girl, we already knew that. Like, that is his property. Stop playing with that man. So she goes on to say how she doesn't know what the financials are going to be once they are finally divorced. And I'm just like, that's sad. Honestly, it's sad because you basically let that man take care of you for all that time, and he still ended up screwing you over, even though we all thought that, oh yeah, the prenup is up, so she about to get like a nice amount of money. Baby, I cannot wait until their divorce is final, if they actually get divorced, so that way we can see what she actually end up with. So we actually see her make a phone call to Giselle or whatever. And they talk about how Ashley went on vacation with Michael. Talking about, so we went as co-parents. Were the kids even there? Also, I need for people to stop lying on TV, okay? Whenever people talk about how they're going on these trips as co-parents, it is complete BS. Because them kids be with the nanny, okay? You may play on the beach for a solid 30 minutes to an hour with them kids, but you know you sitting there with the nanny, and then you about to go do whatever you want to do. Cut it out. Nonetheless, Giselle, messy and nosy, she's like asking her questions about like, oh, so are y'all divorced yet? Of course they are not. And then she goes on to ask her about like, oh, and didn't Michael like put it on the house? And Ashley's like, yeah, he helped with the down payment for the house. He also pays child support. And baby girl's not about to get any type of alimony, okay? So I'm just like, y'all, is she gonna walk away with at least, this house, but then she still gotta pay the mortgage on it? Like, what is going on? And then she talks about how she's dragging her feet to get this divorce from this man. Like, no offense, but Ashley, you need to be like some of these other girls and figure out something that you can come out with. I don't know if you need to come out with a curly hair product. I don't know if you need to come out with some workout clothes. I don't know what you need to do, but you better figure out you some type of side hustle besides this damn show to keep yourself afloat. Because yes, Michael is being nice right now, and he's still paying for a few things here and there, but when that divorce is final, we don't know how he really about to leave you hanging. So the next thing the ladies talk about is the fact that Giselle wants to have something at her house, very small, just Ashley herself, Sharice, and Robin, because she kind of want to have an intervention with Robin, okay? Because Juan is basically putting Robin through all types of stuff, and Giselle don't feel like her friend deserves any of it. Now, Ashley, she has already tried to tell Robin about her man plenty of times, as we saw in the flashbacks, and she don't think that this conversation is gonna go well, but of course she nosy, so she gonna show up. So Ashley ends up asking about the whole situation with him at the nail salon. Juan, that's what I'm talking about. Juan at the nail salon. And according to Giselle, basically, Robin is out here handing out excuses for Juan's behavior, saying that, he's just a nice guy. So Ashley, you can already tell she know that Robin is delusional. And then Giselle, she also feels like her friend needs to wake up. So this should be interesting. All right, you guys. So now we are at Giselle's house. Y'all, Giselle is finally trying to give us a little storyline, ain't she? So we see her with her man, Jason. I believe he's on another Bravo reality TV show series. I'm not exactly sure which one he's on, but y'all let me know in the comments. So they're in the kitchen at her house. That's probably the best room that she got in that house is the kitchen, because it's all white. And even that's questionable, but it's better than the rest of the house, okay? So we see this guy's out here cooking for Giselle, right? Now, I think he needed like a bigger pan or something. And she's like, oh, I have a bigger one. Let me grab it. And she's like, oh yeah, let me bend over so that way you can see. And I said, first of all, Giselle, there is nothing back there. You so flat in the back. Stop playing. Like, there was nothing for that man to look at back there. Cut it out. You don't need to bend down and toot your booty up. You just need to go ahead and use your knees and squat all the way down. So, Jason is actually 16 years younger than Giselle. And you know what, y'all? I ain't even mad at it, because Giselle actually looks happy. I feel like we have not seen this type of glow on Giselle since, what was that one guy? Sherman, okay? Ever since him, because she has not been in a relationship since then that she actually wanted to be in. The rest of those was for play, okay? Hers trying to go back to her ex-husband and all that foolishness, all of that was for play. So we actually learned that these two are in a long-distance relationship a little bit. because he actually lives in New York. She lives in Potomac, of course. And basically, they see each other like every week or so, or every other week. They take turns, either she flies to New York or he comes to Potomac. So we actually see that Giselle took her daughters to Dubai as like a trip for all the girls or whatever. And I think that that's so dope. And here's why. There has been plenty of times where we have watched TV shows, and especially reality, and these cast members of shows, they're traveling all over, okay? They're going here, there, everywhere, across the country. They're going overseas. They're going all these places. And they kids ain't never with them. And I'm just like, that's so interesting, especially considering, people have kids that are older who are actually going to remember the experience. I get it. May not want to carry a 2-year-old around, but it's cool if your kids are like teenagers that we actually get to see them experience something with their parents. Because I cannot lie, every time that I'm watching like reality shows and they be going on these trips, I just be like, do you take your kids on these same kind of trips? Just wondering. But nonetheless, the trip was basically like a gift to Grace, to be honest. It was for her daughter, it's her senior year, and she's about to go off to college. So for spring break, she took all her kids to Dubai. So next thing you know, Giselle ends up calling her daughter Angel into the kitchen so that way she can come help them cook the food or whatever. Well, not them. Help Jason cook the food, because Giselle is just there for, I guess, moral support, okay? Now, we actually learned that Angel helped him cook some pasta like the previous night. So it's very clear that he seems to have, at least a decent relationship with her daughters. Like, we even see, the producers ask her daughter, Grace, what do you think of him or whatever? And she's like, he gets an A-. So, like I said, it's great that her girls also have a decent relationship with him. And I must say, when it comes to Giselle and her daughters, it seems like Giselle has done a great job raising her kids. The girls seem to be very sweet, very mild-mannered. They don't seem like they're teenagers who are wilding out. You know what I'm saying? Giselle, you did do a good job on that. Now, you could be a hot mess on this show 24/7. But when it comes to your girls, you did right by them. All right, y'all, let's move on to Mia. I kind of forgot that she was even a part of the cast. So, these two, I'm sorry, Mia and Gordon cracked me up, and here's why. Every season they have moved. When we first met them, they were living in, a penthouse or whatever, trying to live the high life. Then they moved to a house where they were renting in Potomac. I think it was, how much? $10,000 a month in rent? And then, y'all, we are now at season 3 of these people, and they are in an apartment. A 1,500 square foot apartment. And according to Mia, her closet was bigger than this entire apartment. Okay? Now, when it comes to these two right here, I just feel like their fall from grace has absolutely humbled them. Well, I would say it has humbled Gordon. Mia is trying to hit her next lick. And you can't tell me no different. So we actually see her and Gordon have a conversation. And according to him, he's in a better place now because he now knows what he needs to do as far as his next step. And according to him, the company actually owes him $500,000. And he wants his money. So I'm guessing that he's going to get his lawyers involved so that way he can take his own brothers to court. This is really messy because all of this has probably now destructed a whole family. And I'm not talking about Mia and Gordon, no. I'm talking about the relationship that Gordon probably had with his brothers. For them to kick him out of the company, that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But according to Gordon, now he's back on his feet or whatever, trying to figure out his next move. But Mia is well, you were on that couch depressed or whatever. And here's my thing. I think that Mia is only really looking at this from the financial standpoint, but it's really bigger than that because not only did you get you lost your job, you lost your income or whatever. But on top of it, it was a family business. Like, he went into this partnership with his brothers. The family dynamics have absolutely changed at this point. Not only did you lose your company, lose your job, lose all of that, but you also lost your family. You also lost your brothers who you've known your entire life. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's like an added layer. And then they're kind of going back and forth about how he feels like Mia also felt like he must have done something wrong with the company. But, he did basically audit the company to show the fact that he did not do anything that was wrong as far as the finances go. But, like I said, he said that Mia thought that he did something wrong as well. So, I mean, if your own wife don't trust you that you did, the right thing, that's a little crazy. Now, listen, I feel like Gordon should have known after this conversation that Mia was ready to hit the dough, okay? Because she literally told this man, I had to protect my assets. I have to protect the kids. AKA, if you was doing something shady, oh, baby, I'm about to leave your ass, okay? So it sounds like Mia, she wants to rekindle a friendship with Karen. And Gordon is absolutely supportive of that because we already know Gordon has a thing for Karen. We remember when he was licking his tongue out at her. But let's go ahead and move on. All right, so moving on, we actually see Candace and her husband. They are going on a little picnic date or whatever. And at first they talk about how, last year was pretty trying on them because there were a lot of accusations that Chris was out here doing this, that, and another. And Chris wasn't even doing that. That's the first part about it. So then they start talking about how baby girl is out here on the road, okay? Candace is out here really trying to be a superstar. She really trying to be a singer. She's booking shows left and right, and it is costly. Like, she clearly has spent about $100K just on her touring. Now, I don't know if that's actually her spending it or the label, but her husband is like, well, do you need dancers? Do you need all of this stuff? And she's like, yes, I do need that because at the end of the day, like, I'm not like a girl who gets basically on the stage and just sings with the microphone. She needs dancers. She needs a band. She needs a lot of other elements. So they talk about how Karen and Wendy and Candace, they met up or whatever, and how everyone is on the same page when it comes to Robin. Now, as for Candace, she feels a way about Robin because Robin was kind of toting the lines and being on the side that was against Candace last season, okay? Robin was definitely at one point big on Candace's side when it came to, like, the whole Giselle situation. Like, Chris, he's very nice. He's never crossed the line or anything. However, as that story kept developing, she definitely switched sides or whatever. And according to Candace, she's just like, how you gonna switch sides, number one? And also, it's the fact that you had your own drama going on, okay? But y'all, that was pretty much that conversation. Let's move on. All right, so we're finally getting to this meeting that Giselle wants to have with Robin, Charisse, and Ashley. First person to show up is Charisse. Now, I could already tell that there was something going on when Charisse was trying to walk down the steps or whatever, the walkway path to get to Giselle. I'm like, what's going on over there? Why is she walking so, like, crooked and wobbly? Now, here comes Ashley. Baby girl is walking backwards, okay? Trying to figure out what's the best way for her to get down to where Giselle is safely. She done had to go backwards, sideways, do a two-step, spin around, touch the ground. She had to do all of that just so that way she can make it to the patio area of Giselle's house. Giselle, you have got to get this house from under construction, okay? It has been under construction for years now. Like, you starting to give Chateau Charay, okay? Hotel Giselle is starting to give Chateau Sheree. And I feel like because your house is already built, you should be moving this process along, baby girl. Now, I can't even lie. I did low-key give a side eye to the fact that Ashley is the one who is throwing a little bit of shade about Hotel Giselle. But I'm just like, but girl, you wouldn't even have a place if it wasn't for Michael and his finances. Because who knows where your money would have got you. You probably would have been living in a little shack. So you can't be too judgy over here just because you got your house now. So before Robin even gets there, these three are basically prepping the conversation that they plan to have with this woman because according to Giselle, there's some delusion going on and they are coming to her as girlfriends who are concerned. Now, I will say that considering the group of women that are sitting there right now, they all have been through probably that delusional phase and they all snapped out of it. So we're all hoping that Robin will do the same, but we all know that she is not. Or at least right now in her life, she's not snapping out of it. Because as Giselle went on to tell that story about how basically when Giselle saw the photo of Juan and the Coach Bree girl at the nail salon, she more so flipped out more than Robin did. Robin is numb to it. Robin ain't tripping off whatever Juan is doing. And Giselle, she's like, no, you shouldn't be tolerating this. But here's the thing, sweetheart. You can't fight for somebody more than they want to fight for themselves. Now, I do agree with Giselle that, ain't nobody got time to still be living like that. We've been through that. These people next numbers are what? 40 and 50 years old, however old these people are. We're too old for this. Like, we shouldn't still be going through the same things that we were going through, but we were like 20 years old. So I completely understand where Giselle is coming from. But like I said earlier in my review, I feel like Juan is the only man that Robin knows. So she would rather take the comfort of Juan rather than choosing herself and finding love elsewhere. Now, speaking of Robin, baby girl finally gets there. She's struggling to come down this cobblestone that is in Giselle's little walkway here. And she did not realize that, baby, you are the star of the show right now, okay? This whole little meeting is for you. Baby, they about to give you an intervention. All right, so Giselle explains that these ladies are here to support Robin. And the first one up is Ashley. Ashley goes on to talk about how, she reached out to Robin when the photos dropped of Juan. Now, honestly, it sounds like, what's her name? Robin, she just kind of brushed it off because whoever this Brianna girl is, she has worked with Juan for years. And basically, she feels like their relationship is strictly a work relationship. She's already known about this girl. And that situation is so different than the Canadian girl, right? So Ashley is over here breaking it down to her like, girl, do you not see the optics? He already had one scandal with this Canada girl. Now you out with somebody else. Do you not see how that looks crazy? So Robin is about to stick beside her man, okay? She's like, I'm not about to tell him anything, pretty much. She's not about to tell him that, oh my gosh, you went out with Brianna, blah, blah, blah. She's not doing none of that. She's going to let this man do whatever he got to do whenever he want to do it. So Charisse, she's like, listen, we're talking about your happiness. Are you good right now? And according to Robin, her joy has been stolen because of everything being piled on top of everything and the world doesn't want them to be together. I said, girl, are you a 15-year-old talking about how the world don't want y'all to be together? Grow up. That's why I'm telling y'all. It's circling back to the fact that this girl or this woman, she ain't never been with nobody else, okay? And I'm with Giselle on this. There's one person who's at the center of all this, and that's Juan Dixon, okay? He needs to be accountable for his actions. And the way Robin is getting defensive, like, what do you want me to do, Giselle? Girl, she wants you to leave your husband. That's what she wants you to do. Because you can do better. Baby, Giselle is telling her the honest truth. Baby, this is all Juan's fault, okay? Ain't nobody doing this to you but Juan. But Robin's whole approach to this is just keep piling on, because at the end of the day, she is not about to leave Juan Dixon. So Charisse, one thing I will say about Charisse, and I don't even like her, okay? But I feel like in this moment, she is sitting back and listening to Robin's responses and the way that she's answering and handling these questions. So that way she can kind of check the temperament and see where Robin's head is, if that makes sense. Because her next question was, okay, you already talked about the world and all, everybody don't want y'all to be together. Take the world out of it. He shouldn't have been in those situations with these random women. So Robin poses the question, well, if Brianna was big, fat, and ugly, would this even be an issue? And Giselle is like, yes, him being out with any other woman is an issue. So Charisse, she chimes in and she's like, listen, my ex, he had some women who were not as attractive, okay? I would have never thought that he would have went to those type of women, but he did. So we actually see Charisse get a little bit emotional about this whole situation because it's quite similar to her own situation with her ex-husband. So Charisse talks about how, she made excuses for her ex-husband and all of this stuff. And at the end of the day, he still decided to move on and do whatever he wanted to do in a whole nother direction. He left Charisse. Or however that situation went. I can't remember who filed for divorce or whatever. At the end of the day, the divorce, it went through. And she doesn't want that for her friend. So Robin, her response to all of this is, so do you think I'm in denial or that I'm making excuses? Yes, we think you're both of those things. But of course, Charisse was able to say it in a very nice way. So at this point, Ashley has tag teamed in and she's basically telling her side of things, where when she was with Michael, she was making excuses for him when he was in the hotel room with some girl. Y'all remember that episode, or a couple of episodes, I can't remember what season that was, where he got caught up in somebody's hotel room. I think they had snapped some photos of him or something like that. And baby girl was absolutely blaming herself for it. She had just had a baby. It was a lot going on. So, of course, she felt like it was her fault when it was not. So now we have Robin going on about how her situation is oh so different, and how when the whole Canada situation happened with not Canada situation, but the girl from Canada, when that happened, basically she had told Juan to get out and all of this stuff. And one of the girls, I can't remember which one, she had asked her, so did he even leave? And she was like, no. Well, girl, you did all that hollering for nothing, because clearly he already knows that you're not about to let him go. You are going to accept and tolerate whatever foolishness Juan comes up with. So Giselle is like, is there anything that this man can do that will have you actually put him out the house? Because it's not looking like it. I think that the only way that Robin would get rid of Juan is if he were to probably have a baby on her. Maybe that might be her breaking point. Nonetheless, Giselle has tag teamed in, okay? Because now she has to share her story about what went down with her and Pastor Jamal, okay? The women were coming to Giselle saying that they was cheating with her man, okay? She still wasn't believing it. But now she's older, she's wiser, she's choosing herself, and she wants her friend to also put herself first. Now, one thing I will say is that I actually do appreciate the fact that Giselle handled this very well. The way she selected the type of women to talk to Robin, because they all have similar situations, and she truly does care about Robin. We always say that, they're the green-eyed bandits and blah, blah, blah. But in this moment, you can clearly see that they have a real friendship, because as much as Giselle can be messy with everybody on the show, I feel like this is a real moment of her trying to get through to her friend that, girl, this ain't the move. But here's the thing. Robin is in full-on defense mode, okay? She's about to defend her man, and that's just going to be that. Now, y'all, that was pretty much the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.